Just north of Antarctica, there is an island that only 17 people live on. This island is 3,000 miles off the coast from the nearest country, and the only way to visit is by ship, which takes 6 days of sailing to get there. But just because the human population is small does not mean there is not life in this remote village. South Georgia Island is home to more than 100,000 penguins, seals, and birds. Today we are going to be boarding that ship that will take us through the dangerous Antarctic Sea to experience this place for ourselves. To give you an idea of just how difficult it is to travel here, we've already been traveling for 2 full days and we still haven't even gotten on the boat yet. 48 hours ago we got on a plane in Houston, flew overnight to Buenos Aires, where we then got on a smaller plane and flew to southern Argentina, where we then got on a bus and drove into a town called Puerto Madryn. And now it is finally time to get on board and set sail. So here's a little bit of what our day looks like at sea. Good morning. We have a nice big buffet breakfast that they serve us with eggs, sausage, mushrooms, and it looks pretty good. All right, up next I'm gonna try and get a workout in. Although it's proving to be quite difficult as my weights keep running away from me. There's so many dents in that trash can right there, probably from the weights doing exactly that right there. There's a hula hoop in this gym. I have never seen that before. I also just learned that there's a sauna on board, so that's a game changer. And we're spending the rest of the day today sailing at sea. As you can see, it is nothing but wide open ocean all around us as far as the eye can see. And the waves today are actually quite calm, but I have a feeling they're going to get much, much worse the further we get.
For the morning, we plan to go to a beautiful little spot called West Point Island.
We all just ran outside because there's
dolphins!
Come on, Jordan, get in there.
Wow. So the most remote island in the world is called South Georgia, and we're not getting there tomorrow, but we do have an amazing adventure planned for tomorrow. Tonight, we're gonna enjoy this delicious dinner, the view out the window, watching sunset. Life is good. This morning, on our way to South Georgia, we have pulled into the Falkland Islands, which are also some of the most remote islands in the world. There are 2 people that live on this island, and supposedly there is something else here that we're excited to see. We just came to a rockhopper penguin colony where there's albatross birds and penguins all hanging out. And they're actually nesting their eggs right now. So they're all sitting still like that, sitting on top of an egg, waiting for it to hatch.
They look so fluffy. I just want to hold them.
Are you crying a little bit?
A little bit.
One of the birds and one of the penguins are fighting each other. They keep taking bites at each other. This has to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Such cute little animals. That was the first of hopefully many wildlife encounters this trip. The couple who lives on this island have just invited us into their home for some tea. Hello. This is the most beautiful home. Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah, I would love a cup of tea. So the owners didn't want to be on camera, but they said their only way they can get supplies here is every 6 weeks a boat comes. That's their only communication with the outside world. I can't even imagine living somewhere this remote. She makes great banana bread though. After an amazing morning at our first stop, it was time to get a little more up close and personal with the penguins. Way, like 5 seconds off the boat, there are already penguins on the beach. How's my penguin waddle? From a distance, those all look like rocks. I thought they were rocks. It's like 100 penguins. So we have come to a different island in the Falkland Islands now. This island is called Saunders Island. Main reason we have come here is not for the great surf, although it does look very tempting. These penguins right here are known as gentoo penguins. They like to burrow into the sand, but over on this other beach, there are king penguins. So that is what we're looking for right now. So these are the bones of an orca that washed up on shore. And then right next to it over here is a dolphin. It's kind of crazy, the size comparison. Like, if I lay down next to this, it's still like 20 feet longer than me. And he's just washed up on shore apparently.
Are those fluffy babies? I think those are fluffy babies. I thought those were rocks. It's so fluffy.
Okay, I officially have a new favorite species of penguin. The black, white, and yellow ones are the king penguins, but the brown ones are babies, and they're so fluffy. They look like little baby bears or something. King penguins and world-class surf. Should we make the population of this island 4?
Oh, jeez, so many.
What is it like living out here? Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it's quite busy.
Yeah.
This time of year anyway.
How long have you been living here?
All my life.
Really? So you're used to it. This is
It's normal.
this is life. Yeah. Okay, we officially met people that live on this island. They love it, so I think it's official.
You're done traveling and you're gonna live right here?
Bye, penguins. Good morning. Last night we sailed from Saunders Island over to the capital city of Stanley here in the Falkland Islands. It is a beautiful seaside town with colorful houses, green grass everywhere. There are 2,500 people that live here in this village, so we're gonna go on shore and check it out. This island to me feels like a perfect mixture of Greenland with all of the beautiful colored houses and the Galapagos Islands with all of the wildlife around. There are seals on this dock over here, birds everywhere, and even more penguins, which we're gonna go see in a little bit. I've just been walking around town for a few minutes now, but it seems like almost every local drives a Land Rover Defender here. And they're the coolest, most rustic, old school cars that just give the island such a cool, remote vibe. The Falkland Islands are owned by Great Britain, so the buildings all have a British feel to them. Just walking around, it honestly feels like I'm in an old town neighborhood in London right now. Oh my gosh, look at this. There's even the red British telephone booths here. The phone actually works. There's a dial tone. Should I call somebody? Oh, I'm stuck. And to complete the fully British feel, of course, there's a double-decker red bus. Oh, I would love to ride this thing around town like this. We have just come to a beautiful part of the island. White sand beaches, clear blue water. It looks like something straight out of the Caribbean. You'd never even know you're in the Falkland Islands. The raw, natural beauty here almost feels otherworldly. It's really hard to see, but there is a little penguin burrowed down in that hole right there. As we made our way back to Stanley, I wanted to get a local's perspective on what it's actually like to live here so far away from any major cities. So what's one thing you love about living here and one thing that's difficult?
What I love is the freedom. It's genuine freedom.
One thing I love about living here is the views and the wildlife, because we don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's like you go walk up a mountain and the whole mountain will be just yours.
Right.
I hate the bloody weather.
The weather.
I think the one thing difficult here is like getting stuff down.
We get a ship about once a month, I suppose.
We have to order everything online, so it gets here about 2 weeks, 1 month.
No Amazon Prime here?
No.
Well, that's awesome. It's a beautiful
Anyway,
island
enjoy
so
your
far.
fish and chips, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna go up to the Vic and have some fish and chips. That's what
Good.
we were told. Is that a good spot?
I like the rose preferably.
You like the rose? Chloe has officially joined me. Hello. She's getting a little extra rest this morning. Growing a baby.
No joke. Need your extra rest.
What do you think about Stanley?
It's beautiful.
We've been recommended by the locals to come to the Rose for fish and chips. We are on the ocean. I bet this fish is amazing. On our sail to South Georgia, we started realizing why these waters are so dangerous to sail. Although it's hard to see through the camera, the waves we are sailing through right now are up to 15 feet high, and we started to feel it.
I'm going to need that.
Seasickness started kicking in, and it was a rough night. I seriously felt like I was gonna fall out of bed multiple times last night because the ship just kept going like this. Never felt anything like that. That was crazy.
Swells are 15 feet high right now. That's a little too high for me.
This is what it's like trying to walk. Wow, what a sight to wake up to this morning. We are just pulling into South Georgia, and I think it's safe to say all of the big swells, the rough winds, was all worth it. We're just casually sailing right over the top of icebergs, no big deal. I'm seeing them come out in the back of the ship here. For some reason, the water is so calm, so smooth this morning. It's perfect weather. Couldn't have asked for a better day. Oh my gosh, there's dolphins. Oh wait, there's sea lions. Okay, wrong again, third time's the charm. They're penguins. How cool is that?
Alright, so we're right up against shore right now. As you can see, there are so many freaking penguins on shore. There's a bunch of fur seals and I believe elephant seals as well.
We thought there were a lot of penguins at the last stop, but this is next level. We landed 5 seconds ago and we're surrounded by king penguins. We just found out this is actually the world's largest penguin colony. There are 500,000 penguins that live on this beach right here. They're coming at you. Oh my gosh. They're coming right to you. We've been told that the elephant seals are quite aggressive and to keep a long distance from them. I turned around and this guy was just charging me. How crazy is this? We're just standing among king penguins. One of the craziest things I noticed is that there are bones all over the place here. That's a skull. Oh my. He is coming for you. Okay, we are just walking up to the main colony. This is where most of the penguins are hanging out.
Smells like a penguin sanctuary, that's for sure. Just like Happy Feet.
Happy feet in real life. Since South Georgia is so remote and so few people ever come here, a lot of these penguins have never seen humans before, so they're so curious. A lot of them are looking at us like, what are you? And they'll come up to us to find out if we're food. Some of them are even taking nibbles of people. Now that we have seen most of the wildlife here, it is finally time to visit the town of Grytviken, where 17 people live. South Georgia is historically a very important island, home to more whales than anywhere else in the world. In the early 1900s, whaling stations were built here to catch and kill whales for a variety of reasons, mainly for oil.
Here we are in Grytviken, the southernmost whaling station in the world.
Although the station shut down a short while later, this one in particular is very famous. In 1907, an explorer named Ernest Shackleton came up with a lofty goal to be the first person to ever hike across the entire continent of Antarctica. But on the journey down there, the weather became so bad that Shackleton and his team got stuck on ice in the middle of the ocean for 2 whole years. There's a book written about his entire journey called Endurance, which I highly recommend. When the ice finally melted enough left to sail, a starved and tired Shackleton made his way to nearby South Georgia, here to the Stromness whaling station to be exact, because he knew there would be people here. They were able to miraculously save his and his crew's lives. Today the old whaling stations aren't used anymore, but people continue to live here to study the wildlife, climate, and ocean. And welcome to the beautiful village of Grytviken. We pulled up on shore next to two sunken, abandoned boats, and the second thing I noticed is that there are bones laying everywhere. So this part of the village is where the whalers lived in the early 1900s, and then just over on the other side of the ship there is the settlement where people currently live. That is the saw that they used to cut through whale bones. After a quick boot wash, we made our way into the museum on the island. In here you can find artifacts from Ernest Shackleton's voyage, animals, and even a gift shop. Yes, I had to get one of these cute penguins. I met one of the local workers who lives here on the island. How is it living here?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's pretty good, yeah. There's lots to do.
Yeah.
We get to go up into the hills anytime we've got a day off.
You guys get internet down here. You have to do Starlink? Oh no?
We're gonna get it, and then they just didn't set it up for us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
that's very
nice,
cool.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
No worries at all.
I love how there are just seals over there playing in between all the old whaling equipment. And then this building, I would say this is the world's most remote post office, but there's also one in Antarctica that we're gonna visit later. So this right here is where you come and drop your letter, and then by some magical power, it gets shipped to its destination. I honestly have no idea how. Maybe Santa. This is the town's football pitch right behind me with penguins casually hanging out in the middle of it. That's not something I'd ever thought I'd see.
He climbed into bed, and later on that evening, on the 5th of January, he suffered a fatal heart attack. I am the sweet, uplifting rush of albatross in soaring flight. I am the lone star that hovers gem-like above the bay. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I did not die.
There is also a church on this island. Not sure why there's this many seats for only 17 people on the island. But look how cool this is. There's even an organ here. And in case anyone needs to be rescued during mass, a life buoy. And an absolutely beautiful library in here with all these original books that the whalers used over 100 years ago. I got you something.
Oh, I was joking. I didn't think you asked about him. Oh, it's so cute.
Look what I got for Lenny.
Did you get him a book? Oh, it's freezing. Is it so cold out there? Oh, he's gonna love it. This trip to the Falkland Islands in South Georgia was truly a memorable one. Not only was the destination even better than I could have imagined, but the journey here was top notch. From the incredible crew on the ship to the fun voyages, many unforgettable memories were made. This trip is part of a longer voyage to Antarctica, which I'll be covering in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.